Hello everybody, welcome back. It's Pestilence5 here again, and this time I got another movie review for you. Now, what movie could I be reviewing today? Well, you'll never guess. It's actually a review for a movie that's coming out soon, but it's not that movie. I'm pretty sure you know what movie that's coming out soon that I'm going to be reviewing that it has tied into, and it is, yes, Godzilla, the original Japanese masterpiece. Now, I clearly can't review the new movie because I haven't seen it yet, because it's not out yet. But I will reflect on this for a little bit, and I do have high hopes for the new Godzilla film because, as many of you have known, I am a huge kaiju fan, and Godzilla is my favorite film series, and the first Godzilla movie is actually one of my all-time favorite films. Now, the American version, not so much. You see, the problem with the American version is, while it is good in some senses, the problem with it is pacing seems to be a bit more off with that one. You see, with all the scenes added in with Raymond Burr, it kind of just unbalances the movie because he does a lot of this whole explaining what's happening, and as opposed to actually have what's happening on the screen, which is why I personally believe if you're going to watch any version of Gojira, watch Gojira, not Godzilla. Even though a lot of people don't want to read subtitles, and they never made a dubbed version of Gojira. If you're going to find an American version of that movie, it's going to be Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Now, this is the Criterion Blu-ray release, and I know I reviewed Godzilla before on this channel, but I figured I'd review it again because it's important, and this Blu-ray warrants its own review. Now, one thing I have to say I really, really like about this Blu-ray is that it has one thing, a very cool booklet, and Godzilla jumps out at you, even though that's clearly not the Godzilla from the movie. It's Godzilla from the later films. It still is a nice little touch. Let me put this away real quick. There we go. This movie is a certified masterpiece. I can't really say much bad about it other than the American version of the film. And one thing I also have to say is this movie has, for some reason, a lot of releases. It has the one that I have, the other one I have, the DVD version, the regular DVD version, the one like the thick black case. I think that was just re-released with like just with a slim regular case. There's also the Godzilla King of the Monsters release. And then they're also re-releasing it again this year. I know they're trying to get hyped up for Godzilla, but they already have enough releases of it, and they're all pretty cheap as is right now. So I don't think it's really necessary, but you know, I'm not going to complain about it. If people want to get it, then they can certainly get it. And also they are having also a massive re-release of multiple Godzilla films, which kind of frustrated me because I spent $50 on Godzilla versus the Sea Monster, but hey, at least now I can say I have a movie that's out of print, and plus it's Godzilla, I'd spend almost any amount on him. Now this movie looks wonderful on Blu-ray, one of the best black and white movies I've seen on Blu-ray, even though I think it's kind of hard to mess up a black and white movie when you try to make it look better, but they still did a fantastic job. One thing I can say about Criterion releases, they are very expensive, but they do put quality into their work. This one, though, only cost me about $30, so it was a great deal. That's right, a great deal indeed. Now, the movie itself, some people might find it a little bit boring because Godzilla isn't fighting another monster. He's just on his own rampaging through Tokyo. To me, that's not boring at all. I find it to be a very fun, very action-packed film, but not action-packed in the way that Godzilla is brawling. It's more action-packed in the sense that Godzilla is destroying everything. And if you watch it at the perfect time of night, lights off, everything like that, no sounds around you, it's very creepy. The angles that they show, the camera speed, Godzilla looks wonderful in this. The effects might be a little bit outdated, but it's still a great movie and very creepy. The actors are wonderfully done. The dialogue is also wonderfully done, and I love how in this film They make it seem like it's a real disaster, not just another B movie. It is wonderful, and I believe it deserves more credit than it gets. People know Godzilla, but I don't think many people have seen the original film, which breaks my heart. And I know Godzilla became popular through like the sillier Godzilla movies, but if people would just sit down, take the time to watch the original film, I'm pretty sure most people will be impressed with what they saw. Unfortunately, though, when it comes to America, they always have, like, America with Godzilla was always kind of weird. Like I said, in the original movie, when it came to the U.S., they had to add in scenes and dub it over. Whereas in the original Gojira, they never dubbed it over, so if people want to watch the original movie dubbed over, they'd have to see the American version. And that would happen throughout the entirety of, well, I mean, not the entirety, but most of Godzilla's history, mainly through the early ages of Godzilla. Where in Godzilla Raids Again, this kind of bothered me a lot because in the American version of Godzilla, in Godzilla Raids Again, they called it Gigantus the Fire Monster, and then they even changed his roar. And in the DVD re-release that I have of that, they changed the title card, but I think they still call him Gigantus, and he still doesn't have his traditional roar in that. So America has always been known to mess with Godzilla, and I have seen Godzilla the Animated Series, the original one. They didn't use his real roar. He had laser eyes. It's an entertaining show, but he kind of is Godzilla, but it's not, because Godzilla doesn't breathe fire. He has atomic breath, which some people argue is the same thing, but I don't think it's the same thing. And then 1999, everyone knows the disaster that was Godzilla. Fun movie, but it's just not Godzilla. This is why I have high hopes for Godzilla 2014, because it looks like it will be solid. It looks like a real Godzilla movie, and I hope it doesn't disappoint me. Now, this movie, definitely, I think everyone should check out. It's not the first giant monster movie, and it certainly wasn't the last, but it was the one that perfected it, and it had a lot of imitators after that. And I am happy that I have it on Blu-ray, and I'm happy I got it at such a great deal. I give it a perfect score of 5 out of 5, and I recommend everyone check it out. Anyways, that's my video. Take care.